to see.
Yeah, made it. We're all here. Good. Got any word? Did you get any word from Mandy or?
I did, and I checked my email today just to.
Double
No,
check.
yeah, nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he said that he's gonna make sure that it's recording and is set, and he'll give the thumbs up. So whenever you guys are ready.
I have an addition to the unattended children's policy. Item number 6, unattended children will be given a latte and a puppy.
I approve,
So,
but that's coming out of your pocket yet? And
well, yes, and it shouldn't last too long.
the puppy is to punish the parent. No, you get to take home this prize. Oh, I did want to give that. So the patron code of conduct and the policy on circulation loans limits, I realized there were just 2 edits that did not get sent through.
Okay.
If anyone else comes, I'm gonna give you all of them.
Okay.
All the copies.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So just one for each of you, so that way you can just double check what I'm talking about. Just one.
And they need one of each? Yep, there's that. I'll take that, yep. Okay. All right. It is 5:31. We will call to order the September 15th West Fargo Library Board meeting to order. We are looking for approval of the order of the agenda.
Move to approve.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. We do have Larry and Tony and Leanne are here, so we do have enough for a quorum. We are missing Alana and Mandy. So consent agenda, we're looking to approve both the minutes from August and approval of financial reports. I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Consent agenda passes. So on to our regular agenda, we have old business, and it is an action item. So the board email addresses that we've talked about actually for maybe a couple months here. Any more thoughts, comments, questions on that? And the action would be we make a motion to go forth with I would call them generic, but the generic email addresses, or we keep them the same.
What would those generic email addresses
So
be?
it would be like West Fargo Library Board member, treasurer, president, vice president, so any roles that we have. And they are listed, I think it would be similar to what's listed on, as I look at our website. So, board president, board vice president, treasurer, we have a board member, city commissioner, and then just a board member.
Okay. All right, I'll move to approve that.
Tony, did you have comments?
I was wondering, as people change,
Mm-hmm.
then you're gonna do the maintenance on those emails, and whatever, rather than looking at the website to see who's president, mail to them.
Mm-hmm. It sounded like when Tech was here, that on their back end wasn't a major deal. It wasn't a deal breaker for sure. So.
I can live with that.
Oh, and you do need to turn on your mic. Yeah, maybe.
I can live with that.
Okay. So we do have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And Larry, just to confirm, your motion was to move to the more generic emails?
Yes, it was.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. All right, thank you. Oops. Let's move on. And so we have new business. We have a patron code of conduct policy, and it is an action item.
So everyone,
I'll move to approve that.
one moment, because there is two adjustments that I want you to be aware of. Line 10, For some reason, it was not included in there, but this is how it reads currently, and you do have a copy in front of you. Consumption of odored food or drink, or unreasonable amount of food or drink. The unreasonable amount was not included in the one that was put up online. As well as line 13, it reads the same, but there's a semicolon at the end, and now it says, bringing in personal recreational equipment. And what we're meaning by that is basketballs, volleyballs, that type of thing that people often will make use of in the library that are not, it's not a facility for those materials to be utilized in the library. So I just wanted to bring your attention to number 10 and number 13 have been updated, reviewed, and that would be, it would be this current policy that I have in front of you guys that would need approval.
Okay,
I'll move to approve.
we have a motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. Next, another action item, we have circulation limits, loan periods, and a fine schedule policy. Are there any changes to that?
This is the second one that has changes. The rest of them are the same. This one is for the circulation limits. We have removed the DVD AV limitations, so you can check out more than 10 DVDs or 15 respectively. Given the checkouts of these materials, there hasn't been any major issue that we should be limiting it. If that becomes an issue again, then we would address it then. The second change is to the second page for the related charges. The non-resident library card previously was $5. We are upping that to $25 in response to city concerns about that.
What were the city concerns?
That essentially that taxpayers are paying more to utilize the library than non-residents to use the library.
Excellent.
And so to meet a compromise, that was the price that we compared it to other libraries in the area as well as state international pricing for non-resident cards, and we found that that's about the average.
Okay. I'll move to approve.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion passes. Next, we do have another action item, so library card policy. And so no changes on that one from current? Are there any questions or comments by the board as you look through the policy?
And I would specify the main difference between this and what the current policy is we are removing the middle ground where there used to be a youth and a middle card and then an adult card. We want to go with the state law on what an adult is recognized as, and then anything under that be considered a youth card. So that's the primary change. The other things are just more just to get up to date with what's required for library cards.
I will make a motion to approve of the library card policy.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we do have another action item. It's the West Fargo Public Library Outreach Services Delivery Memorandum of Understanding. Is this new or is there any changes?
So all three memorandums of understandings, there is no documentation for these. These are brand-new policies, so I want you to be aware of that. These are areas that staff have recognized are in need of having some sort of formal agreement between these sites that we're working with as outreach continues to expand. And The formatting for all of these will end up looking similar to these policies as we go forward. So you're approving all the wording. The formatting will be changed to meet our current publication and marketing outlines. But these are new to us, but they are not new as in we have any adjustments since they've been posted.
So you've had a strong hand in this, I presume?
Yes, a lot of research went into all of these, and it's pretty much been since day one that this has been something that we've been working on to address before
Okay.
we continue to expand our outreach.
Okay.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. The next one is another MOU for the deposit, Services Deposit Library MOU. I was actually looking at both at the same time, so I do make a motion to pass that action item as well.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next action item is unattended children policy, and to approve a final draft of the unattended children's policy. So new or just adjusted?
This is another brand-new policy. Previous to this, they just relied on the patron code of conduct, which does not really address this concern, which has been an issue in the past. So we wanted to make it clear that there is policy that we can then make a procedure from for staff to handle this situation.
And so you do consider any child 13 or above more of that caregiver role, that they can do the caregiving?
And that comes from, again, evaluating what other policies are already established in other libraries, but also what the state can recognize as a person who can be a babysitter or a caregiver of a younger sibling primarily, but yes.
Looking at number 5, have you had much experience with children being left? Oh, okay.
It's an ebb and flow sort of circumstance. Staff have done a very good job of recognizing when patrons come into youth programs to address it with parents, that this is not for you to drop off children, but to be actively at least present, to be able to maintain parental guidance for your child. But it has been in the past a situation, and we want to just clarify that it's not, that we won't be able to accommodate being a service provider in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
I make a motion to pass the unattended children's policy.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Let's see. All right, so the next one, so it's a youth service outreach site memorandum of understanding. It's another action item. And this one does look different than the other ones. So new, or are there changes?
Memorandums are all new.
Oh, that's right.
This one is because it was the youth outreach person specifically who I worked on it with, and so this is our version of it. As I said, they will be beautified to the West Fargo Public Library branding upon approval.
There's any discussion, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right, we have the library budget for 2023, final revision. Do you want to talk about any additions or changes or adjustments and probably also based on previous conversations that we've had as the board?
So when I've been discussing with the staff what their needs are versus wants, and we laid it out in that regard, staff were seeing that there's a need for staffing over the potential services that we could be providing, because without the staff, then we aren't going to be able to provide those services efficiently. So partially due to the low expenditures at this time of this year's budget, we are planning on spending some of this year's budget to supplement some of what was removed from this budget, especially the main things that they were wanting. There was a, not a book binding, but a book wrapping machine that would ease for tech services and collection development department. That can be easily entered into our current budget because of the low cost of it. A lot of what we had in the budget are items that can be grant requested, and we actually did submit a grant that will cover $5,000 worth of Library of Things expansions if it's approved. And so staff are going to be actively looking for outside fundings for what was removed from the budget. The decreases are all respectable to what their hopes were for their departments, but they understood that it was something that could be put to another year's budget. I did remove enough to where we're still in a surplus of $6,000, and again, with us continuing to look for grants to cover even more of what we have, that I expect will continue to be a larger pot at the end of the year.
So in the future, I know there was a lot of talk previously when we talked about the deputy position and that being within our budget. Do we still have the FTE in our pocket?
That is what is now in there.
Okay.
Yep. And that's why it went from 85,000 to, as you see, there's quite a few decreases to a couple of lines.
Okay.
Those decreases were to offset that additional, it was additional 80,000 to the permanent salaries, and then the benefits essentially are on top of that. So we removed the wants from the budget in order to compensate for the needs of staffing. So yes, it now will be that full-time position funding is in there.
Okay. And I've heard you say a couple times that we do, and maybe not the deputy position, but there may be need for future positions to help the library.
Yeah.
Where are we at with that? And do we have kind of maybe a wants and needs in terms of staffing?
Yes. I've already met with all of the management as well as supervisors and administration to evaluate not just my perception of what's needed, but their perceptions. And one of the primary feedbacks that I've received is that they would like for circulation to have a management position returned to them, given that they are the most patron-facing, that they need that guidance to be efficient at their services, as well as training and implementation, as well as a lot of not necessarily database maintenance, but patron record maintenance and things like that have fallen to the side because there's no one overseeing that department except for me. And the other management team members have done a wonderful job of filling in where they can, but they are excited to be focusing on their own roles now. So that's one of the discussion points. Another one is adding programming people to our team. So from where I stand, the deputy director is something that can become something else, but it is at this time, the funding is absolutely needed for a full-time employee and possibly another lower rank full-time employee.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
yep.
Any other comments or questions regarding the budget proposal? It's in its final revision. All right, I make a motion to approve the final revision to the library budget for 2023.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any additional comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Budget passes. Next is our director's report.
We have a director's report music.
Right, we would love some music and dance, maybe?
I'll have that in, that's 2023, okay, we got this, we'll get there. All right, so you guys did receive the statistics, I'm gonna go in reverse, I'll do the report first, and then we'll look at the impact report. You guys did receive this report. I am just gonna focus on 2 slides that really have changed. I apologize. For some reason, the continuing education slide did not want to update, and so you guys got one that is from last month. But so, surprise, you'll see what we've done this month. And as well as our last slide goes into a little bit more in depth about what all staff responses have been. But this is just a picture of one of our memory care kits that you guys did get to see in person. Even today, I saw one of our staff members taking one of the memory care kits out to one of the outreach facilities. It's been something that we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on, and I'm very, very happy with that.
I posted it on my social media, and my mom wants me to get one for her.
Yes.
She was very excited about it. She thought it was a great idea.
And that's what we've been hearing, is a lot of people want it for individual or home
Yeah.
use. And so that's what we're hoping to expand to, because this is all trial. We wanted to see the success of it. And also, it was funded by the Friends. So again, looking at those alternate funding sources and seeing wear and tear, and then evaluating, expanding it. So community feedback, I just wanted to, again, thank you guys who were able to make it to the meet and greet to get feedback. Although there were very few people who attended, they have been coming back with more thanks and more initiatives for us to look into or to consider. And they are on my calendar for when I return. So just wanted to say thank you again for that time, and that when January hits, I'm planning on doing another one, and we can do it the same way or however we'd like, but I want to keep the conversation going with the community. Did want to point out one thing about this. We all are aware that homeschooling is becoming a bigger item in people's lives, so I wanted to just take note that one of our Storytime moms actually takes home and laminates the activities, so that way she can reuse them with her homeschool children. And I thought that was a really, really nice way for our materials to continue to live in people's minds and in the community. The designated lactation room is up and running. We have added ambiance lights and reading materials and activity materials, so if a mother comes in and they have another child, there's something for them to do in there as well. It's not just your child is unattended in the library. Quiet study space has been addressed slightly. We are also working with the city on allowing for, there's a small study space. We just got it evaluated, so those are things that are coming down the pipeline where there will be 3 more study spaces to come by the end of 2022.
Because they're continually used, correct? Or
Yes.
the one that we have?
Yes.
Is always in use?
Yes.
Okay.
And so now we're meeting those needs, and that's the next policy that will be coming down the line to you guys is a space, or the room rental policy is one of the policies that will come down in December. One thing, our patron database has been cleaned up because of the registering of patrons, and with this approval of the library cards, it's going to be cleaned up even more. So it's going to be an even more efficient job for our staff. So again, thank you for approving that. They'll be greatly appreciated. Just want to note that the teen interns have completed their time, and without their service at the library, it would not have been the successful summer that we had. So I want to thank you guys again for getting behind the staff, for them having the grant, and for the community's support in providing their teens to this service. There was overwhelming positive responses for that. So this is the mysterious continuing education screen. As you can see, staff have been very, very busy. I'm very happy with the results of what they've been interacting with. It's a good variety of things that people are doing and taking initiatives to learn more about. And from this, they are getting more ideas. One of them is a Beanstack fundraiser, which we are actively reviewing and will be rolling out next year. The one that I would like to point out for myself is that I did the Dale Carnegie training. I survived, so it was wonderful. I really appreciate the city and the community for supporting that type of training for their leadership, as well as the up-and-coming leadership that we have. The all-staff training, 4 hours, very successful, and I'll touch base on that in a future slide. Collection policy will also be another one that will be coming onto your radar upon my return. It's something that the staff and I have been actively discussing, and in the past 2 weeks have had very good conversations about and developing something that we all can get behind and be able to address what's going on in the current climate, as well as with future endeavors for the collection. And as you can see, we are at 51% of the budget being spent at the end of August. So that's what I'm saying about some of those funds from this year will be used to cover what we had already removed from the budget, and it's not going to impact this budget. We would still be able to be above and in the green for this budget. The Monday matinees. I was just so happened to be walking past when September 12th started, and we had a very good turnout. I'm very, very happy with it. I even popped my head in and said, thank you guys for coming, and that I really appreciated seeing the community take part in our programming. So that was awesome to see. There's a lot of things that they've been attending in the community, and this is just the adults. So I'm gonna go to kids because Summer Boost is what had ended in August 11th, and we've got a lot of really good numbers, especially considering that they revamped it and may have reduced the number of sites and number of visits to different things, but the actual there was actually an increase in participation at those sites. So they did a good job of evaluating what and projecting where they'd get the best results for being there. And I applaud everybody who took part in that, again, the teens as well. It was a very phenomenal event all throughout the summer. Westfest is this weekend, and we'll be there. The Friends are also going to be there, and they're going to be with the bus. Right now, the youth department is partnering with the school library media specialists as well to do some good proactive back to school type of reading initiatives and the like. So this is the last slide that, again, I didn't have all of it ready, so this one is on me. But the CE slide, I don't know what happened. This one, we did have Ellen Rousseau receive a scholarship to attend the Library Marketing and Communication Conference. So she'll be gone and learning how to do an even better job at what she already does wonderfully. So I'm very excited for her. She was unsure if she should even apply for it, and I just encouraged her and said, yeah. And when she got it, she was very, very elated, so I'm very happy for her to receive that. And I'm going to continue to encourage staff to seek these type of opportunities for themselves. Mm-hmm. The all staff, as I said, was successful. We had 21 of 23 attend. The 2 who did not attend were able to provide documentation on why they were not in attendance, and they are also doing the activities that were done at the training, so everybody is included in that. There has been positive verbal feedback to me, but I also sent out a survey to all staff that they can reply to anonymously, and that has been overwhelmingly positive, and they have great ideas for how to go forward. And that was one of the intentions of this meeting, was to get their feedback and get an understanding of where we can focus our attention to get everybody to feel better as a team. And so I feel that so far it's been successful. Planning for that will take place in the 6 weeks after my return. We expect to have one in late January, early February, so.
It's a great picture of the whole group.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes, and the only one not in there is Ellen. So there is 21 of us, because I even counted and I'm like, wait, who's missing? It's Ellen, because she's doing her job taking the picture. Again, One Book, One Community is going on, so feel free to encourage patrons and people in the community to partake. Any questions about that report? Okay. And so,
She'll be at Concordia on October 27th.
yeah, she is making the rounds from what I have heard. Okay. So I just wanted to point out that overall, everything is on the up and up, especially given that August is one of those months where it could really be hit or miss. We're very happy to see that the numbers are all up. The outreach materials is the only one that's down. I'm not sure why that is, unless it's because of the Little Red Reading Bus and people returning materials and not circulating it that way. But again, everything is on par for what we would expect for return and for patron participation in our various programming. So just wanted to show you that. And any questions about the impact report? Okay. And that's all I have for you today.
Okay, thank you. That was the last of our agenda item. I do want to ask a question though, Betty. Are we planning on having our October board meeting because of your impending maternity leave?
Yes. So I am actually emailing you guys tomorrow.
Okay, sorry, I don't mean
with
to-
no, with who is doing, and that's a fine question, with who is doing what roles for me.
Okay.
So you will be in contact with Ellen
Okay.
about just setting up the agenda, but you're gonna still get the director's report, so that way you guys still are updated on all of the basics of what's going on. And it will be for October and November.
Okay.
And Ellen will be the one presenting, and Alicia will be
Great.
Reviewing for you guys.
Okay,
Okay?
sounds good.
Yep. So progress can still happen. You guys have
Absolutely.
ideas, but there won't be any policies. So,
Hopefully we got most
Yes.
of them done today.
yes, I think staff will feel very confident with my absence now that they have these
Okay,
up to date.
good.
So thank you again.
Other comments or questions?
Just every best wish.
Oh,
Yes.
Well, thank you.
We do wish you well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, I'll second that. We have a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.